Expedition Everest. Sounds ominous, right? You'd never guess it's a roller coaster at Disney World. 2 years ago, I stood at the entrance. Excited, but clueless. I don't like loop-de-loop rides. And if I'd known there was one, I never would have gotten on. But I did. The ride climbed higher and higher until it went upside down. Then it suddenly stopped before it did it all again backwards. My stomach dropped. My heart raced. But then something amazing happened. I started enjoying it. When it was over, I ran to go again. That day, I had unknowingly stepped out of my comfort zone, and I realized that fear had been keeping me from experiencing joy. Expedition Everest showed me something important. Sometimes you don't grow because you're ready. You grow because you go, even if it means going upside down. Back in 4th grade, I confidently raised my hand in science class. My answer wasn't exactly right, and the smart kid laughed at me. My face turned red. After that, I stopped asking questions in class. Not because I didn't know the answer, but because I didn't want to risk being wrong again. It felt like my academic expedition had stopped before it really began. Like I'd taken one step into the trailhead, saw a mountain lion, and turned around. I watched as other kids kept climbing, raising their hands, asking questions, making friends. But I stayed at base camp, too afraid to face the unknown. Teachers told my parents I had potential, but what good is potential if it never leaves the tent? I didn't want to get the answer wrong again or ask the stupid question, so I stayed quiet. My silence became my shelter, but over time, that shelter started to feel more like a cage. My turning point came when my music teacher signed me up to sing in a classical concert. It felt like I was suddenly dropped halfway up a mountain I hadn't planned to climb. My turn came right after an incredibly talented singer, and I was sure everyone would compare us. I was mountain lion terrified. But I didn't turn back. I took a shaky step forward and sang anyway. I wasn't perfect, but I was proud. That day, I had proved to myself that I could keep climbing, even when the path felt steep. I had faced the unknown and come out stronger. That's when I started to live by a modern-day proverb. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because comfort zones might feel safe, but they're like a flat ground. You don't get a better view unless you're willing to hike higher. And it's not just me. A blog post titled Understanding Confidence and Self-Esteem in Middle Schoolers explains that academic performance plays a big role in how confident middle schoolers feel. When we do well in school, we tend to feel more confident. But when we struggle, even just a little, our confidence can drop fast, like a roller coaster. That's like trying to climb a mountain with a heavy backpack. If you believe you're not smart enough or good enough, every step feels harder. You start to doubt whether you belong on the trail at all. And the more you doubt, the more likely you are to stop climbing. Confidence and self-esteem aren't just nice to have in middle school, they're the fuel that keeps us moving forward. And when we don't speak up or ask for help, we're not just staying silent, we're slowing down our own journey. A Forbes study from 2016 reports that 62% of people either don't like to leave their comfort zone or do so only occasionally because they view change negatively. My fear of loop-de-loops stems from almost falling off a big horse when I was little. Being upside down and high up makes my skin crawl. And of course, you know why I might fear asking questions. Hannah Rose of Nest Labs wrote an article in 2022 stating fear of judgment by others is common. For example, athletes may fear judgment if they do not win a race. Students may dread disappointing others by failing an exam. Professionals may worry that a work project will be criticized. One last study from Walden University says, quote, if you stay in a comfort zone too long, it can make you complacent. If you don't perform activities that scare you, you miss out on growth opportunities. End quote. What I've learned is when we step out of our comfort zone to speak up, even when it's scary, we remind others that they're not alone. That's how we build a confident, connected community. Getting out of my comfort zone is an everyday expedition. Recently, I contemplated playing badminton when I'm really not athletic. Ask anyone who knows me. So, I asked myself 4 questions that might help you while you contemplate your own comfort zone. 1. What's the worst that will happen if I do it? 2. What's the worst that will happen if I don't? 3. What's the best that will happen if I do it? 4. What's the best that will happen if I don't? When the worst that could happen isn't permanent or harmful, try it, because the best that could happen might change your life. If public speaking scares you, don't start with the stage, start with the classroom. Raise your hand. Go first in a group project. Every time you speak, your confidence grows, and that confidence can inspire others too. Remember Expedition Everest? I didn't know I'd be upside down, but I'm glad I didn't, because if I had, I would have missed out. Sometimes the best parts of life are on the other side of fear. So, ask the questions. Speak up. Go on the ride, even if it goes upside down and backwards. And remember, when you step out of your comfort zone, you give someone else the courage to step out of theirs.